For 17 years, a killer stalked the hills surrounding Florence, Italy. 16 victims, 8 double murders, all committed under the darkness of a new moon. And despite multiple convictions, many believe the real Monster of Florence was never caught. The story begins on a warm summer night in August 1968 in the small town of Signa, just west of Florence. 29-year-old Antonio Lobianco and 32-year-old Barbara Locci were found shot to death in their car with a .22 caliber handgun. In the back seat, Barbara's 6-year-old son had been sleeping. When he woke to find his mother dead, he fled in terror to a nearby house. Barbara's husband, Stefano Mele, was quickly arrested and convicted of the murder. He served 6 years in prison. Case closed, or so everyone thought. But 6 years later, in September 1974, the killer would strike again. And this time, it was clear that Stefano Mele couldn't have been responsible. He was still in prison. On September 15, 1974, 19-year-old Pasquale Gentilcore and 18-year-old Stefania Pettini were found near Borgo San Lorenzo. They'd been shot and stabbed. Stefania's body showed signs of extreme violence, 97 stab wounds. The police didn't immediately connect this to the 1968 murder, but the killer was just getting started. Between 1974 and 1985, 7 more double murders followed, all sharing a chilling pattern. Young couples, secluded in remote areas, shot with the same .22 caliber Beretta handgun, attacked during weekends, always under a new moon. And in half of the cases, the female victims were subjected to horrific post-mortem mutilation. It wasn't until 1981, after the murder of Giovanni Foggi and Carmela Denuccio, that police finally realized they were hunting a serial killer. A ballistics test confirmed what they'd feared. The same gun had been used in multiple murders. Then came the breakthrough. In 1982, an anonymous letter directed police to re-examine the 1968 case. When they did, they found bullets and shell casings that matched the serial killer's weapon. The Monster of Florence had been killing for 14 years. The investigation became a labyrinth. Police first focused on the Sardinian trail, pursuing Barbara Locci's relatives and lovers from Sardinia. But as suspects were arrested, the murders continued. Every time police thought they had their man, the monster struck again. Then, in the early 1990s, the case took a dramatic turn. Pietro Pacciani, a farmer with a violent past, including a conviction for murder in 1951, became the prime suspect. In 1994, he was controversially convicted of 7 double murders and sentenced to 14 life terms. But Pacciani's conviction didn't sit right with many. The only physical evidence against him was a single unfired bullet found in his garden, later revealed to have been planted by police. In 1996, he was acquitted on appeal. The case grew stranger still. 2 men, Mario Vanni and Giancarlo Lodi, were tried as Pacciani's accomplices. During the trial, Vanni famously protested that he and Pacciani were merely snack buddies, friends who ate meals together. The term entered Italian vernacular, and they became known as the compagni di merenda. Lodi eventually confessed to participating in the murders, implicating both Pacciani and Vanni. In 2000, the Supreme Court convicted Vanni for 5 double murders and Lodi for 4. Vanni received life imprisonment. Lodi got 26 years. But Pietro Pacciani never faced his retrial. He died in 1998, taking whatever secrets he had to the grave. But the convictions didn't end the mystery. In 2001, Chief Inspector Michele Giutari announced a shocking theory. The murders were connected to a satanic cult operating in the Florence area. Lodi had testified about a mysterious doctor who allegedly hired Pacciani to commit the murders and collect body parts for rituals. The investigation spiraled into claims about secret societies, mysterious deaths, and elaborate conspiracies. One name emerged, Francesco Nargucci, a physician from Perugia who had died under suspicious circumstances in 1985, just 1 month after the monster's final murder. His body was exhumed. Conspiracy theories multiplied. But nothing concrete ever materialized. No physical evidence linking any cult or conspiracy was ever found. The investigator who pushed these theories, Mikhail Jutari, was eventually indicted for abuse of office. His special investigative unit was dissolved. In 2017, journalist Francesco Amicone proposed yet another theory, that the monster was connected to California's Zodiac killer, and that an American cemetery superintendent named Joseph Bevilacqua might be responsible for both. Italian authorities collected Bevilacqua's DNA in 2020. He died in 2022. The theory remains unproven, and in 2024, Amicone was convicted of defamation. Today, the Monster of Florence case remains officially unsolved. Despite multiple convictions, no definitive physical evidence, no DNA, no fingerprints, no murder weapon was ever linking the convicted men to the crime scenes. The killer's gun, believed to be a Beretta .22 caliber handgun, has never been recovered. The body parts taken from the victims were never found, except for one chilling piece of evidence. In 1985, the killer sent the portion of his final victim's breast to the Florence prosecutor's office, taunting investigators. Many investigators, journalists, and legal experts believe the true killer or killers were never caught. The case changed Florence forever. Entire generations grew up in fear, avoiding isolated places. Couples stopped seeking privacy in the countryside. 16 people lost their lives. 8 crime scenes, decades of investigations, multiple trials, and still the question remains: who was the Monster of Florence? Was it Pietro Pacciani and his so-called snack buddies? Was it part of a larger conspiracy? Or was it someone who walked free, their identity lost to history? The Monster of Florence represents one of Italy's most complex and controversial criminal cases. It's a story of tragedy, investigative failure, and the human need for answers that may never come. What do you think happened? Were the right people convicted, or does the real monster remain unknown? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this case as compelling as we did, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for more deep dives into history's darkest mysteries. This has been The Dark File. Until next time, stay curious.